Morning, everybody. It's Teepa and Matthew, and today I want to share a little bit from an article that a volunteer here at Snow Approach brought in. Her name is Inga, and Inga is an avid reader and very skillful at picking up on things, and she's a lot of fun. She's not from America originally, so she she definitely has a take on things that always causes us to have a great conversation. And she's also supporting a spouse who's living with some brain changes. So she's always interested in articles. So this came from the New England Journal of Medicine. It's an sort of an opinion piece, and it's called "The Invisible Load of Cognitive Symptoms," and it's Jan Stuperud, maybe, or Stuperud, something like that. She's from Norway, from Oslo University, and she's a PhD, and she did psychology. She did such a great job of what we experience and why we say dementia is an ever-changing disability. And dementia is something that needs to be supported. We need to recognize it for what it is. We need to think about compensatory strategies, maintenance strategies, restorative strategies. We need to put our thinking caps on and quit just thinking about a cure. Yeah. And instead, think about things from everything from palliative care through, cure for the common cold. But yeah, I don't know if we found that either.
No,
We're
no.
working on it. I don't think we're there because, allergies, a whole bunch of things. So
Yes.
here we go. I'm going to sort of lay out the landmark. I'm going to just like read a little bit from the piece that she did because I think it's important. Okay. So this is early, but not so early, that, people are in studies or anything like that in general. On paper, the patient looks fine. Her MRI is unremarkable. Her lab values are within normal ranges. She arrives at the clinic on time, where she speaks fluently and smiles at the right moments. She performs well enough on a brief cognitive screen to reassure the clinicians in the room and even, for a moment, herself. But then she starts describing her typical day. She keeps forgetting why she opened her laptop. She rereads the same paragraph multiple times without retaining anything. She loses the thread of a conversation easily, especially if two people speak at once. She can manage one appointment, one conversation, one errand, but not a series of them. By afternoon, her mind feels like an internet browser with too many tabs open, and nothing crashes instantly, but everything slows, stutters, even eventually freezes. And the most disabling symptom, she explains, is not the dramatic memory lapses, it's the constant invisible effort required to function. The internal checklist, the running mental sticky notes she has to rewrite repeatedly, the strategic silence she maintains in meetings to avoid exposing her inability to track swift shifts, the exhaustion after ordinary social interactions, the guilt when her kid asks about a simple question she can't hold the answer in her mind long enough to respond, the invisible load.
Yeah.
So, what she's talking about is the phenomena of too many clinicians going, "Oh, you're fine. I mean, no, I mean, everything looks typical, normal. I think you're just worrying." And it's like, quit. There is such a stigma attached to the brain changes that happen when you start to develop the potential of dementia, of a changing life, of some brain changes that may or may not reverse themselves, that nobody does anything. I mean, because in fact, we don't know too many unanswered questions to find out, could we optimize her function, her life, her supports? Could she make changes that could change how she does what she does? Could we lift that burden, that load? But that's not what happens.
No.
And people don't know what to do when they're told, "Oh, you're fine. I mean, there's nothing going on here. I mean, everything's within normal ranges." I mean,
It
what can I
feels like
tell you? We did a screen.
it's like a quick fix culture. It's the idea of like what can I do right now just to fix your problem right now versus the idea of there'd be so much more work, so much more curiosity, so much more exploration. And so it seems like there's in some ways almost a steering away of what's going to take more time and more of what's going to give you the answer now and take care of it now.
It's a yes or no answer. Do you have dementia? No, doesn't look like it. Instead of, Wow. So you're really experiencing some changes and they're fairly significant for you. They don't register yet on a scale over here for screening for that, but it sounds like there's a number of things that you're struggling with. So I think we need to sort of start now looking at, okay, let's get this more deeply looked at and let's see where you have your strengths. Where are you finding you do okay?
And going back to what you've said a bazillion times, let's get a baseline too, because I have a feeling we probably don't even have a baseline at this point. So let's go ahead and get a baseline too, and then that way
In
we can
areas,
monitor.
yeah, in a little broader range of areas than, the mini mental state exam, which we already know for smart people, it's like it's not catching things. And for people who have cognitive limitations to start with, or cultural background differences to start with, or lack of education to start with due to whatever cause, they may do poorly on that and look like something's wrong, but it may just be, wait a minute. And the same would be true, in other situations. So, what we're advocating for is number one, clinicians, quit being so tippy toe around this and get curious. Quit being so quick fix around it and get interested. And if you aren't, say, you know what? I've done what I can do for right now, but you're sounding like something is going on here, and I believe you. So I think it would make sense to get up with a group who's working on cognitive stress management, life coordination issues, on some strategies that might be helpful to you. Now, that may turn out to be an occupational therapist. It may turn out to be a speech language. I don't know, depending on where you're having some changes. Oh, wait, maybe I should know. Maybe I should be curious enough about where you're doing well and what you've told me you're having challenges with to think, what are resources I could recommend for you? And maybe what you, or if you have a care supporter, could say to me as a clinician is, wow, well, this isn't really helpful because what you haven't done is help us discern what my disabilities are then that I seem to be experiencing. Because if it's not dementia, but I'm struggling in a way I've never struggled before, I could use some help figuring out what do I do, and telling me, well, there's nothing you have to offer. That's an answer. I guess I was hoping for a little bit more.
So it sounds like Teepa, that permission of advocate, advocate for yourself.
Advocating,
It is
yeah,
okay with the physician. It is
without labeling.
okay.
You don't need to
Yes.
label
No.
me as having a full blown dementia. But if I have an awareness that something is changing, now's an excellent time to start thinking about how do I support someone who's experiencing this disability of having difficulty holding on, having difficulty in conversations. Is there someone who, or could the person be queued up? You know what? It really helps me if you would raise one finger when we're in a group and you want to say something and pause so I can focus in. I've noticed I'm having some challenges and I have a lot going on in my life, but it would really help me in the meetings.
Yeah.
Do I have a single person that I trust? I mean, there are things that can be done, but nothing gets done if someone doesn't kick the ball off. Like we got to tee off where whatever in soccer got to kick off. I don't know.
Yeah. Do the
Watch
kid.
some of that stuff. I still don't
Yeah.
know that I know exactly all the terms, but
But
this
the
feels like
idea,
offsides or something.
and it almost feels like the ball isn't even being put into play with what we're hearing
Doesn't feel
here in
like it.
this
Yeah.
moment. It sounds like the ball, the person's bringing the ball, wanting to do something,
Mhm.
and the help they're going to, the
Yeah. I
people
mean,
that
we're
they're
not
supporting.
playing this game right now because I don't think you got your, I mean, no, yeah, I don't think so. Here, not mine. It's like time to stop, not mine, and say, huh, okay. Um, I've got three names for you to follow. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if a offer was made?
Yes. Hmm.
Here are some resources. Check them out. Let me know whether you get some support or you don't when we see each other next time. And I'm going to go ahead and have my person schedule for a quick check in to see how you're doing. Because medically, you're solid, but life wise and disability wise, something's going on for
Yeah.
you. I hear you. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. For those of you out there who are curious, who are wondering, who are feeling, ooh, I think that sounds like me. And you might be a care partner, because we hear a lot of care partners feeling like, ooh, well, the latest report coming out is not like super wonderful because it said 60% of care partners, which is up. I last heard 50. Before that, it was 40. Care partners themselves are at risk for developing dementia.
Stress.
They actually develop dementia. So let's quit revolving around and repeating something we don't want to see, and let's start looking at early signs of stress and distress in a system where somebody is acknowledging it, or even if they aren't, are there things we can do to modify, to support, to compensate, to maintain, to revise, or to make someone comfortable in a way that's healthy? Till next time, take care of yourself, take care with your care. And if you have questions, get up with us because we are pretty good at trying to help people figure something out. First steps, baby steps, and be an advocate. Bye, y'all.
Thank you, Teepa. Bye, everybody.